Thanks for tuning in, guys. So today I'm going to be cooking, it's a traditional dish called Osso Bucco. Basically, I'm using the Whitetail Deer Shanks, and it's something I generally would just throw away. But after hearing how good they are, if you cook them for a long time, I decided to give it a try. So there you can see the ingredients that I used. I've got basically less than $20 in the whole dish, so it's not a bank breaker. You can do as much or as little as you want. And here you see I'm cutting off what I would call the calf muscle. It's just a big muscle group there. You can see all the connective tissue and stuff. Again, that makes it tough as nails. But when you cook it as long as you do in Osso Bucco, it kind of breaks all that down and makes it edible. So here what I'm doing is I'm cutting all the tendons and connective tissue and muscle, going straight down to the bone where all I have is the bone left. I cut a section there and then make one more. So I have two separate cuts. You could make these smaller if you wanted to, or you could cook the whole bone if you wanted to, but I just kind of made them small portion sizes there. Again, I probably could have done one more, but left it alone. I get the meat out of the way so the saw can cut straight to the bone. That way it's not getting clogged up with meat pieces or anything like that, just nothing but bone. Once you get about all the way through, you can break it off with your hand. It's not that big a deal. Do a little bit of cleanup, make sure there's no bone fragments there, cut off any type of little hanging pieces, and set that one aside. That one's pretty much done. Go to this smaller section here. Same thing, just make sure you're cutting just bone, not meat. That way there's not much getting in the way of clogging your saw up. If you're using a hacksaw like I am, use a clean blade. I took all the paint off of mine with acetone, so it's just basically a bone saw is all it is. That's all I use it for. So I don't have drywall hunks or anything like that in there. Again, it was just the two rear legs right under the hams, basically where you hang it whenever you skin it. That's the only two legs that I got. This was off of the doe that I shot in the last video. So you can see how much meat is there. There's not a lot of meat, but it'll go a long ways if you cook it right and add some other stuff to it. So here I'm just kind of cutting up the vegetables and my other stuff that'll go in it. Got celery, onions, garlic, carrots, thyme, sage, and rosemary, and those crushed tomatoes over there. I had flour on hand, had salt and pepper on hand, so I didn't purchase those. Most people have those in their kitchen. You might even have most of the stuff laying around already, so you wouldn't have to buy anything. Beef stock was the most expensive thing on there, but again, it like I said, less than $20, and this will probably feed 3 people. I cooked for me, my wife, and my son, and it would probably feed all 3 of us good. If you wanted to do more than that, say for a game day or something like that, I'd maybe try and do 4 legs. That way you have enough for stragglers, because it is good. Crushing up my garlic here, chopping that up, going to throw it in the bowl with the onions and the celery and carrots. I'm getting that ready to go in the Dutch oven. And here what I'm doing is I'm rolling those shank pieces in flour, salt, and pepper, just to give them a little coating. I've already got my oil heating up in my Dutch oven there on the stove top. It'll start smoking here in a minute when it gets really hot. I'm just going to basically brown the outside of these shanks. I'm not really trying to sear them so much, but I am trying to brown them a little bit. I've got my oven set at 300 degrees. It's 300. It's coming to temperature right now. That's what I was just doing, checking it. It just beeped at me. So oven's to temperature, oil smoking, so I'm gonna start throwing these in here, and look how much they draw up just from that hot heat. Again, if you were to put this on the grill or cook it fast, you would basically want to chew a softball instead of this, because it would just be tough as a coffin nail. So that's the point of cooking them low and slow and then forever. It breaks down all those connective tissues, the tendons, the membranes in between the meat muscle groups. So it actually turned out a lot better than I thought it would. I've never had it before. It's my first time making it. There's some stuff that I would maybe change, but basically I'm going to keep it the same if I do it again, and I would 100% cook this again if I was having a party for football party, or had a bunch of guys over and I had some leftover shanks, because I'm not cutting these and throwing these away anymore. I want to freeze them and keep them, because it was that good. I mean, it's a good dinner time meal for just any occasion, really. All right, so I throw my vegetables in and letting those kind of heat up, really. I mean, I'm just going to make the onions translucent, trying to start breaking stuff down. It's going to cook for, like I said, 5.5, 6 hours, so it's going to have time to cook. I'm just kind of getting these all mashed together, let the flavors melt a little bit. I got my garlic in there too, so just letting that kind of heat up a little bit. And I'm going to throw these crushed tomatoes on there just to make my, I guess you'll call it the sauce. And once that gets all mixed together, I'm going to put the shanks on top and then cover it with beef stock. Let it should be covered all the way. Mine kind of not floated a little bit, but I had some room, so I didn't quite cover mine all the way with beef stock. But basically just going to have enough liquid in there to cover it and make sure that it's not drying out on top, or you're running low on liquid, because it will kind of cook down a little bit. So put the first jug in there and it didn't do a whole lot, and I started the second jug and used about half of it. Put the lid on, put it in the oven, and due to the magic of editing and all that jazz, this is 6 hours later from the time I put it on at noon, and 6 o'clock we're ready to eat. I took them out to check it just to see if they were tender or not, because I wasn't sure how long they needed to go. Got my little fork sticker there, and it's falling off the bone and poking right through. I'm calling it good. It's tender and done. So I'm gonna put it on a bed of rice. Just made some regular old basmati rice and put that on there. And like I said, I had 2 hunks of meat. My wife had 2 hunks of meat, and my son had 2 hunks of meat, and we had a good meal for the 3 of us. You see the bone right there. The marrow is still in there. You may or may not believe me, but the marrow was delicious. I would, again, 100% eat it again. Kind of grossed my wife out, but it has a fantastic flavor, but there's no texture. That's what it looks like plated on the plate, ready to be eaten. And then here's the aftermath. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it.